Yo, what's up, guys? This is gonna be a Dimension High School anime review of the whole season. So there's 12 episodes out right now, and I just finished it just now. And to sum it up, don't watch this garbage. Like it's just garbage, straight up trash. The only reason I watched it was so you guys wouldn't have to watch it. Yeah, that's pretty much my summary. So I'll talk about what the show actually involves. So back when I was doing my what do you call it? What I'm gonna watch in Winter 2019 show, my video. I came across Dimension High School, and it was it was one of the shows that was quite further down the list. But obviously, I went through all the list, and the synopsis actually interested me quite a bit. It was quite intriguing. It was about four high school kids. Like they don't look like kids, but trust me, they're meant to be students. Then let's use that word. Four high school kids. Oh my god, four high school students get transferred into another world, and but they're from the real life world, so it's gonna be that's what I thought. So I was gonna be like, oh, that sounds really interesting premise. Having real life people in anime and see how they interact with anime because they're real and they have like I had this imagination. It's gonna be an isekai kind of thing, where like, there's a team of four, and then their interactions and their conversations were gonna be quite funny. I could see that. That's what I imagined, right? And then once I actually started watching it, it's completely different. So what the story actually involved was four students and one teacher, and they get teleported into this room, into like another 3D animated classroom. So it's all CGI, and the CGI looks terrible. And they literally just do puzzles, and this monster Sphinx like just comes through the wall, and they just do a quiz, and they go back, and they do that a few times until they beat all the Sphinxes. And that's literally the plot. And obviously there's other plots involved as well, like little subplots. Well, that is literally the main plots. They literally have to beat the Sphinxes in puzzles, and it was disappointing, absolutely disappointing. And I was like, I can't believe I watched this. So I'll talk about some of the aspects that I didn't like. First of all, the acting on this was was abysmal. Like the acting, it just didn't look convincing, and it just looked awkward and weird, and it just looked so unnatural and fake. But and the even like the timing of the vocals, I couldn't tell. It just looked off, and like there was a bit of a delay in my eyes. So I think they might have just dubbed the actual acting. Like that's what it feels like. That like they were just I reckon the actors weren't even talking. They were just like, what do you call it? They were just mouthing the words and mimicking the sounds because it just didn't even match. So first of all, like when we have like the shots of them in the real life world, everything looks it looks a bit off. Like the synchronization of the vocals and video, like the mouth the mouths just look off. And then the acting looks bad. The camera quality, the filter they use looks a bit weird as well. But I've noticed that a lot of Japanese films and stuff they use that kind of filter. So I guess it's just to do with the quality of Japanese what do you call it, like just Japanese production really. The way it looks might just be the Japanese style, I guess. Because when I watched the JoJo Bizarre Adventure live action, it looked quite similar to how it looks now. But yeah, the actual clearness and HD quality, it looks all right. But I have qualms with the way it actually looks overall, I guess. And then that's like what I think about it visually when they're in the real world. And then once we go to the another world, which was I had this massive open world image expectation where they explore like this massive vast plane of land, but no, they're just stuck in a box. They're stuck in a 3D room, and they literally that's it. And you see a window, of buildings outside, and that's literally it. That's the whole world that they explore. I mean, it's all CGI as well, so it looks weird. Like they don't even bother to sync the mouse there again. They're literally just sprites that nod their head. And yeah, that's literally so visually it's really bad. And the storyline, let's talk about the storyline. So I talked about the visual aspects of this show, and then the storyline, which I talked about earlier, is literally just them going in there and doing puzzles, and then they win. So I'll go more in depth in the story. So like the story is this is magical Lorok, and it needs to find the four chosen heroes, and they find the students. The students find the rock, and then they're in this after school lunchtime extra training, like extra lessons kind of thing, and they get transported into the rock awakens and they transport him into that dimension. And what the rock's mission, right? He's like a magic rock. He can float and stuff. He has to find the chosen heroes to beat the Sphinxes who have taken over his world, and they have to try beat him in puzzles because that's the only way you can beat him apparently. So it's a weird premise at all. And then so they keep going back and forth until they beat all the Sphinxes. And yeah, and the puzzles are they're pretty hard. I never solved any of them, but they were they were what do you call it? They had like Japanese related questions. So like kanji, and I can't read kanji, so I don't even know. I didn't even get half the references they were using, stuff like that. So you needed to be Japanese to even get some of the contextual knowledge of the questions anyway. And I just didn't bother anyway because it was too hard and CV, and I was losing the will to watch this show. Well, if you wanna, what do you call it? If you wanna test your willpower, you should watch this show because it takes a lot of willpower to actually finish this show. Like it took a lot of energy. I had to force myself to watch it all, to be honest. Yeah, and then so the story falls flat, and then the characters, their personalities, I guess that's all right, but they're a bit cliche as well. So you got the main MC, he's kind of like nice guy kind of thing, and then you got this loudmouth guy who's really mean, tsundere kind of guy, and there's actually four of them. They have like a pairing kind of system. Like the main guy, Junchi and Rusuke, they're like sadist and masochist, so they go together. One likes to be scolded all the time, and the other one likes to scold, so they kind of fit quite well as well. And then you got this other guy who's like a tough guy, and you got like a soft guy, and I don't know what kind of relationship they had. I don't know if it was a friendship or a relationship because it's quite ambiguous for me anyway, like the way they talked about each other. So I don't know what it could have been, but that was another pairing there. So there's just like two pairs of twos. Yeah, and the antics were a bit weird as well. And yeah, the acting was absolutely mediocre. Would not recommend. So that's literally the show, and it just ends. But one thing I'll praise this show for is yeah, it's very unique. I can see what they were trying to do. They're trying to push the boundaries, and which I admire for that. But the execution was just flat. Like it was so flat. I could not believe it. It was flatter than Pepsi that you leave out for like a few days after you open it. That's the kind of flat this show, like the execution was. But yeah, the concept and idea I did quite enjoy how unique it was. But yeah, it's a no from me. So a summary: this is a show you should avoid, because this show is just a waste of 3 to 4 hours of your life. If you end up watching this, congratulations, you wasted your life like I did. I wasted 3 hours on this just stupid show. Alright, that's 3 hours I'll never get back. But I think if I had to give a score out of 10 for this show, I'll probably put it on my anime list. It's probably going to be a 2 out of 10. Just that extra point because it actually tried to do something quite different. But yeah, I'm glad this show's over, and I'm glad it was only 12 episodes. yeah, don't watch this show. Bye.